Alright, I believe I'm recording. Hello guys, my name is Shusui. I'm coming at you with another video. Hopefully that doesn't look so blurry or as crappy as it is on my screen. If it does, oh well, I'm sorry about that. Today I just want to talk to you guys about Red Paladin. I'm playing the alpha currently. This is only up until 65. This is Monday, this is the day right before reset. They're probably going to do a lot of more updates tomorrow. But this is just a couple things that I wanted to make a video about. Um, just because I play Red Paladin, and I played Red Paladin for a long time, and I feel like a lot of the missed opportunities that have, uh, I'm sorry, let me just restate that. I feel like there are a lot of missed opportunities here for this class. There's a lot of things that I think that I want to talk about. Main thing being Divine Steed. I think there's a lot of Red Paladins that can back me up on this one. Divine Steed, it's just not good. It's not fun to play with. It's not fun to have. It's not fun when it's on cooldown. It's just not fun. Divine Steed, completely obvious that you're trying to travel from point A to point B, and if you're playing a PvP main or if you like PvP at all, you know that Red Paladins are just really easy to kill. You get them to pop up at once, and then boom, they're dead. They're easy kill. Their Shield of Vengeance, don't even worry about that. It's just a little shield, and they just removed all the damage that it does when it pops anyway, so that's you're fine. Red Paladins are easy kill. I understand that PvP may not be like their main focus or whatever, and I'll completely ignore all of the abilities that make Ret Paladin completely useless that other classes have. But I just want to talk today about what we currently have and things that I think that we can change to make the class feel a lot better. For starters, Divine Steed. No, all memes aside, Divine Steed just does not compare to any other movement ability class in the game. Uh, Rogues have Grappling Hook, Shadow Step. Warriors have Charge, Heroic Leap. Demon Hunters have Fell Dash, and Metamorphosis, which is just like basically a Heroic Leap with a Metamorphosis included in there. Let me think. Druids have Dash, and they can shapeshift all the time to get out of roots. They're just basically like the best get out of root scenario class in the game, and I feel like they want paladins to be that, and they're just not. Paladins have one freedom, and if I'm quoting their blue post, they want us to use Steed and Freedom, and that's what they want us to have. It's just I just don't think it compares to all the other abilities that every class in this game currently has. And even if we're just taking a look at a PvE standpoint, there's a lot of slows and snares out there, but having only one freedom for yourself just doesn't feel as strong as, for example, Zephyr, which is the Evoker final talent rotary, which gives everybody around them 30% movement speed and like AoE damage reduction, which is completely huge. Like Ret Paladin is just not going to compare to anything like that. If you gave Ret Paladin something like a group freedom, where you don't just you freedom yourself and another ally, which is a PvP talent, I believe. It's called Unbound Freedom. If you gave Unbound Freedom to Ret Paladins in a raid scenario or in a group wide scenario where you could just freedom yourself and it freedoms the nearest three people or the nearest five people or the nearest anybody, it would be a much more fulfilling button to press. It would actually feel like it would be hitting the target that they're trying to go for, which they just want us to focus on removing movement impairing effects. When the reality is we only have one freedom on a 25-second cooldown, and that is nowhere near as good as a druid just shape shifting or a dispel or things of that nature. Um, Another thing I want to add is the fact that they want us to use four talent points just to get the maximum benefit, the maximum duration of your steed, which is, in my opinion, completely like unfair. Evokers only have to spend two talent points, and they get like three times as much speed and mobility than we do, which is just like adding an extra charge to their hover and then removing the cooldown completely from hover whenever they choose. So in essence, they have three stacks of hover. Meanwhile, they want us to spend four talent points for just two charges of a 5-second speed, which just doesn't compare because every time they press their hover, they also have a talent that increases their movement speed by 70%. And if that's not good, like there's there's an obvious not good, and it's right here, it's right in front of us. The Divine Seed is just not that great. So I think they really need to either consider adding Light's Barding baseline to Divine Steed, which if you don't know what Light's Barding was, it's just like increase the duration of Divine Steed by like a stupid amount. I don't even believe the tooltip read like a specific amount. It just said a long duration. Maybe it was percent based. I can't honestly remember. I'll try to pull it up or just remember it later on. Um, I also don't want this video to go too long because I don't like watching long videos. I feel like nobody likes watching long videos about red paladins just complaining about their class because, let's face it, they do it every day. I do it every day. Um, I think there's a lot of great changes on this paladin tree, but a lot of missed opportunity as well. I'm really upset that aura mastery is not a baseline paladin ability. Even if with the changes to ret aura, we're getting seraphim at 50%. If somebody dips below 50%, I apologize. Um, Having aura mastery as a ret paladin with ret aura, where everyone gets some sort of like seraphim damaging buff increase for being below 50%, that would be incredible. Or just like giving everybody in like the raid Seraphim for like 8 seconds, that would be incredible. Things that bring utility to the raid for Rit Paladin, which feels like the direction that a lot of the meta classes are shifting into, where if you don't bring anything that is meaningful or valuable to the raid environment, you're not coming. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I would rather bring two Havoc Demon Hunters with double the darkness and then two warriors. It doesn't even matter what flavor they are. They all have rallying cry. It's amazing. The group survives. The group lives big hard mechanics. If you bring a paladin, what do? They press bubble and they watch everyone around them die because they can't do shit. And there's nothing more infuriating than having a class fantasy of being this protector or being this like arbiter or being like this destroyer of fucking everything with the light, in front of you, but like you can't even help the homies that are dying all around you. All you get is wings because you're like some sort of, I don't know, like avenging titan, I guess. And I mean it makes sense, you have avenging wings, right? Like you're avenging the fallen allies or whatever, but like let's face it, that's not good. Especially because, you don't get avenging wrath for the entire rest of the duration of the fight. You just get it for like a few seconds. And it's just not. It's like it's probably not even like during your damage and cooldown window, so it's just not good. It's like imagine being a mage and you just, I don't know, you just pressed icy veins, or I forget what the big major, or let's say you're a fire mage and you just combusted, and then after your combust ends, someone time warps. Like that's what that feels like. That it just feels like, wow, I really wish I had that like 10 seconds ago when I was bursting. Like it just doesn't feel right. Like having a little bit of burst added to maybe two or three like Templar verdicts because your homie died is not fun. It's not good. Um, of course, this is just my opinion. You take it with a grain of salt. You might think like that's probably like the best ability in the world or in the game, but as someone who's played Red Paladin for a long time, there's nothing more. Uh, I'm gonna call it degrading than knowing when your homie died because you just got a wings proc, or knowing that someone in the raid just died and it's probably gonna be a wipe because you just got wings, or being like the first one to know that someone just died. It, it's 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 conniving is what it is because you can be a mean person about it, but it's also like frustrating to feel like that's the kind of class that we are. Someone dies and we get strong for a little bit. So it is also like kind of backwards to want someone in your raid to die so that you can perform well in a raid environment or in a group environment or anything, honestly, in general. Like someone dying is not a good thing unless you're a ret paladin. Then it's a wonderful thing. I mean, that I feel like that just shouldn't be a thing in the game. Um, Another thing I want to talk about is some of the positive things on this tree are the fact that you can take Tempest of the Lightbringer and Final Verdict at the same time. I think that's wonderful. That's an amazing change. Final Verdict and Tempest of the Lightbringer are things that we currently have to swap in between in Shadowlands. And like if it's like Fortified week, you take Tempest. If it's Tyrannical week, you take Final Verdict, and there was just no question about it. But now you don't have to choose. You can do good AoE damage on ad packs, and you can do good boss single target damage with Final Verdict, and I think that's probably like one of the best builds that I could come up with. Um, for just being level 65, I do believe that we'll get like maybe two more Paladin points and two more Ret points. Where they're gonna go for me, honestly, I can't really think. There's like maybe two good spots that I think I want to put talent points in, but like overall, there's a lot of talent points on this tree that I think are just like completely useless or that they just shouldn't be there. Um, for example, a lot of these nodes, for example, Holy Crusader increases your mastery by 2% for one talent point. I think that's completely nuts. Like I rely on gear for my stats. I think everyone relies on gear for their stats, and I understand like since classic, there have been talent choice nodes that are just like a percent base up, or like you get 2% more this, 2% more that, 2% more here. Like I feel like that's completely bonkers. Like if you're gonna give a class more mastery versus another class because that's what their class benefits off of, then do it. Don't just make them talent into it. I think that's a waste of talent points, a waste of a lot of fun options that could be on the talent tree. And I only see 3 on the ret, and I only see 1 on the ret talent tree and 2 on the paladin tree itself. So Holy Crusade, which increases your mastery by 2%. Then there's a Obduracy. Sorry, I'm probably slaughtering that, which is just a speed and avoidance increase. Which like, okay, avoidance, yeah, that's good, but like, why do I have to take this talent in order to achieve the talents that I actually want, which is Mad Paragon and Seal of the Crusader and Touch of the Light? Like, I would rather spend talent points on actual talents than spending my talent points on like a few percentages of stat, like a small stat increase. Like that doesn't feel as rewarding as like taking a talent that gives me an ability like Divine Toll, you see? And also having the talent into Avenging Wrath feels kind of strange, and then having the talent into again on the ret tree feels even weirder. I feel like it should just be one or the other. Like, you should either get Avenging Wrath or you should get Avenging Crusade, and there should be no there should be no this or that on both sides of the tree, or on 2 different trees, if that makes sense. Um, I'm sorry if I'm talking out of my ass right now. I'm just trying to collect all my thoughts because there's a lot that I wanted to cover, but I feel like I'm not just going to get to all of it in one video. I might have to make like 2 or 3 takes and then re-see this video because I probably said a lot of weird things. Another thing that I want to bring to the attention to anybody watching this video is the fact that execution sentences moved from the center of the row and they no longer want us to use it as like a baseline ability, which I'm extremely grateful for. I think that is an immaculate change. And not having to use execution sentence, mwah, chef's kiss, amazing. You know why? Because there's already a class out there that has a button that is just like execution sentence, that is literally execution sentence's big brother, and it makes execution sentence users look like little babies, and that is Arcane Mages. Arcane Mages have Touch of the Magi, and when they press Touch of the Magi, their holy power fills up. Okay, it's not holy power for them, but you know what I'm saying. Their holy power not only fills all the way up to max, but they are blasting that arcane blast into that Touch of the Magi, and when that target finally gets hit by Touch of the Magi, it's either been deleted off the face of Azeroth or everything around it has just been obliterated, because I've seen mages do like upwards of 170k on a single target, and it's completely bonkers. And then you want Ret Paladins to do something like that? It just it's like, whoa, bro, like why am I trying to be like a mage? I'm a Ret Paladin. Like, this is obviously a mage button right here, and they're trying so hard to make it a Ret Paladin button, and I really appreciate that because it looks awesome. Using execution sentence looks fucking cool. There's a giant hammer falling from the sky, and when it lands, it goes boom, and you fucking explode. Unfortunately, in a Mythic Plus environment or in a PvP environment, this is just obviously broadcasted on top of your target probably being dead before the hammer even falls. So this button is strictly for raid boss use only, or for if your target has so much HP that you just can't really fathom, pressing anything else besides execution sentence on it over and over and over again. That should change, in my opinion. Execution sentence should not be what it is. Or maybe it should just be changed for another button. This is just my opinion. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you like this button. One of the problems that I have currently with where it is on the talent tree is you can't pair it with Final Reckoning, which is what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to Final Reckoning and then use Execution Sentence just so that you get the ultimate extra big damn from pressing Execution Sentence. Without Final Reckoning, Execution Sentence just doesn't have that oomph that it has in Shadowlands, or that it had in Shadowlands. Another thing that I feel like should be changed off this tree, and this is just me going off of the thoughts that I can collect in order. I'm sorry, I wish I could have written these things down and talked about them professionally, but I'm not like a big YouTuber or streamer. I'm just a Ret Paladin that wants to be heard. Truth's Wake and Expurgation honestly quite literally do the exact same thing. They just burn the target for your Art of War proc a little bit more. I feel like those two should be combined into one talent, and any Art of War proc that you get should also burn the target for a percentage of that ability, instead of just having to talent once for Expurg and then having to talent again for Truth's Wake. Yeah, it just feels like, come on, like they're the same thing. Just give it to me, like just stop making me make two node choices that are obviously the same thing in just split up into 2. Another thing I want to add or say is there's a couple other like nodes on the Paladin tree that I really wish were more accessible. to me as a paladin who wants to do damage, which is literally just this talent node right here, Aspirations of Divinity. Your Crusader Strike gives you main stat for 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, 2 times. Multiple applications may overlap, so you get primary stat for 6 seconds. And I feel like if you're not taking this and you're a ret paladin and you're not making use of that main stat, you're missing out on a lot of damage, and you can't go down this path without taking After Image, and that is not really that great for a Retribution paladin at all. Like, you spend 20 holy power, your next word of glory is 30% stronger. That's not that great. You know, you're a ret paladin, you're here to do damage. You're not here to heal anybody. And especially if they're just giving you the option to do big healing over after 20 holy power versus the button that's right behind it, which gives you main stat, which is really, really good, and you really, really want that because your damage depends on how much strength you have. I feel like this talent, particularly Aspirations of Divinity, should be moved more up and maybe replaced with Seal of Alacrity. Like, come on, 2% haste, and you're forcing me to take 2% haste to get my kick. That is not rewarding. I don't know what word to use for that. And I understand, like, a lot of these points you're getting as you're leveling up, so they don't want like just some level 10 paladin with all these broken abilities at the start of the game, and I understand that completely because they're taking a look at a lot of the different aspects that are going into this game, like leveling, like dungeon crawling, like PvPing, like raiding. Um, if you take a lot of these talents with a grain of salt, there's a lot of them that someone who is a new player just absolutely will not take. Like, for example, Turn Evil. Like, I couldn't live without Turn Evil. I could 100%. Like, I can only think of one dungeon in Shadowlands where I ever had to press Turn Evil, and it was really good, and it was during the first boss of, what is it, Plaguefall, where you have to stop the big blobby slime, and it was undead, so you could fear it. Other than that, like, where else would a paladin ever need to press Turn Evil? Like, you can maybe turn evil an undead pet from a hunter, or or like an A-bomb, or demonology warlock's tyrant, or things of that nature. But like, if you're not PvPing, this button is useless to you. And I feel like it should either be baseline, and that should just be like a paladin thing that you can just turn things evil, or it should maybe have a different flavored effect versus like having to choose between turn evil or something else like Seal of the Templar. And this is another ability here that I just think is completely bonkers. Like, when you're mounted, you get 3 yards added to a lot of your major damaging abilities and your Hodge, and I think that's like not good at all. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. I think there are much better things that you can come up with that isn't just while on steed you get 3 yards. Like, that is so useless. I would much rather see something like with steed that makes it so that you can't be slowed or snared, or two, you just become invulnerable to all forms of CC while you're on your steed, or adding some sort of knockback when you walk through people in steed, like we currently have in Shadowlands, which is the Protection Paladin's PvP talent. Or you could add like some sort of magnet effect to steed that lets you just trample people and pick them up, kind of like Reinhardt does. You know, he charges through people, picks them up, slams against the wall, they do big damage. Maybe it'll stun them. Maybe it'll knock them back a little bit. Maybe anything. You know, like, if you want me to use steed, at least make it worth it. At least make it a good ability to have, not just a 3 second steed. You get 2 charges. Good luck. Good luck getting there. Good luck getting out of that fire. Good luck, going to protect your homie. Good luck not looking obvious when you're traveling from point A to point B to the enemy. That, like, there's so many reasons why steed is just not like, what's the word to use here? It's no longer wanted. That's not it. I feel like it was changed. I don't remember when. And we used to have Speed of Light, and Speed of Light was cool. And then I guess they thought Speed of Light looked too much like Nitro boots, so they said, "No, you'll get a steed." I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's a lot of wasted potential here. On top of Steed just being like, a mediocre movement ability, I think there's a lot of potential to add to Steed if that's really what they want for us. Um, Let me think what else I can potentially add into this video that I haven't thought of already. I can't. I can't think of anything else yet. I'm continuing to test the beta. I'm going to continue making different builds, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, seeing what buttons are really good, seeing what buttons just don't feel good at all. And I'll let you guys know what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you think Ret Paladins are looking to be very good after the changes that they made, let me know. If you think that they need to make more changes, tell me what you think they need to make changes to. Uh, and yeah, we can go from there. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.